First item is the roll call.
Ambrose?
Here.
Button is absent. Kale?
Here.
Raymond?
Here.
Nelson?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, we're going to start with the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you'll please stand.
Abba, Father, we give you glory, we give you praise, we give you honor for this opportunity to come together in this setting and to cast vision, Lord, for this community. Thank you for this esteemed panel, Lord, for those that are in attendance today. I pray your blessing upon this meeting. I pray, Lord, your wisdom just be rained down upon us. And for all of these things, God bless Atwater, God bless our first responders, and God bless the United States. Amen and amen.
If you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I already did the roll call because I was on the wrong page again. So we'll have the city attorney report out on closed session.
Yes, council considered two matters in closed session as listed on the agenda. It received information and provided direction, but there's no reportable action.
Mr. Raymond.
Mayor, coming up to the next item, Supervisor McDaniel has informed me that he will not be here tonight. His oldest son, Corbett, got married last night, and he is still dealing with that, so he cannot be here. Congratulations to the McDaniel family.
Okay, well, we won't delve into that too deeply. Thank you. So, yeah. Do we have any subsequent need items?
Mayor, there are none.
Okay. Do we have a motion to accept the agenda as, I guess, amended at this point?
Motion to approve the agenda is amended.
Second.
Motion by Raymond, second by Kale. Kale?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Raymond?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Our first set of items are ceremonial matters. We're going to have certificates of recognition for the Atwater High Future Farmers of America students. Councilman Button is not here tonight to do that, so I've asked Councilman Kale to please make those presentations. And Janelle's going to give him a hand.
Oh, thank you, Janelle. So I really don't know a whole lot about this. I did read about you guys in the paper, and Tyler said that he was going to do this, and he couldn't make it tonight, so we're going to go through this as quickly as we can. So the FFA went to state, and they have competitions in a number of different categories. First category was a state championship farm business management team, which is really important if you're going to own a farm or an ag business. Is it FFA coach? Do they call you coach here or not? Advisor? Are they here? Oh, please come up. So you can help us. You guys can help us. You guys are advisors? Yes. Really? No, I'm just kidding. So the first one we're going to look at is Joshua Medeiros. And won first high individual overall in state. So, Coach, tell us what that means.
Well, thank you, first off, for the opportunity to be here. As far as agriculture students, just in short, there's about 100,000 individual high school agriculture students in the state of California with over 300 high school agriculture programs in the state. So all of those 100,000 students have the opportunity to compete in skill-based contests against other individuals, and we do that throughout the year. And then the state finals is held at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and the winning teams of each of those skill-based contests will represent not just their school and their community, but the entire state at the national finals in Indianapolis, Indiana, in early November. So we have 2 state champion teams, and then we're also fortunate to recognize a high individual that placed first out of all the students in the entire state in poultry. So to start with the farm business management team, basically they competed. It's accounting, it's business, taxes, depreciation, revenue, expenses of a fictitious farm. And we had Joshua Medeiros, first high individual, Allison Garner, who was 4th high in the state, and Haley Herforth and Dulcie Campos. And I don't know if you'd like them to come up. Come on up. And then our other team was the Milk Quality and Dairy Foods team, and this is a contest where students identify from both visual and tasting and texture a variety of cheeses that's in the industry, milks, dairy, non-dairy, and then also they have to assess and analyze data from tests that's done at the state and federal level at every dairy every month, and then they do a team presentation on that analyzation of that. And this year, our state champion team from Atwater is Brianna Duran, who was 2nd high individual overall, Allison Brewer, Ryan Marshall, and Danica Christofferson. And then at last in our poultry judging, fowl contest, but did an excellent job. Fernando Prado was 1st high overall out of the entire state, so recognize him individually. And just want to thank again the community, the family, and all of you for the opportunity. We're looking to fundraise $24,000, so I'll vote for a tax increase, whatever we can do to help support the kids. But we're looking forward to representing not just Atwater, but the entire state at the national finals in November. Thank you.
Well, let's give him another round of applause. There you go. This is great. You guys obviously have done great work. I remember when I was your age working on my dad's almond orchard, and everybody kept saying, you need to join FFA and get in more into ag. And I kept going, no, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. I had other plans. And my dad said I didn't work with beans, so he said, you better be smart. He was wrong on both counts. I am not that smart. But you guys did a great job. Obviously, you are. Congratulations to all of you. You've made Atwater very proud. So congratulations. Great recommending you.
Okay, thank you all for being here. The next item is a proclamation for National Public Works Week, which is this week, actually. And I'll be presenting a proclamation to Matthew Del Real, since Justin isn't here tonight because of children's family games, yeah.
Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the city of Atwater. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the city of Atwater to gain knowledge of and to maintain ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2023 marks the 63rd Annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Now therefore, Mike Nelson, Mayor of the City of Atwater, does hereby designate the week May 21, 27 through 27th, 2023 as National Public Works Week, and urges all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our health, safety, and quality of life.
Okay, Darren's not here, so we'll skip that. We're on to consent calendar.
Background information has been provided on all matters listed under the consent calendar, and these items are considered to be routine. All items under the consent calendar are normally approved by one motion. If discussion is requested on any item, that item will be removed from the consent calendar for separate action.
Okay, I'm going to open public comment now regarding the consent calendar. Are there any members of the public inside the chambers who would like to speak regarding any items on the consent calendar? If so, you're welcome to come to the podium now. Okay, are there any, I don't see anybody come forward. Are there any items on the consent calendar that the City Council would like to remove for separate discussion and possible action? Hearing none, I'm going to close public comment now and ask for a motion.
Motion to approve the consent calendar is posted.
Motion by Raymond, second by Kale. Kale?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Raymond?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, we're now on to public hearings. First public hearing is a resolution approving a general plan amendment from low-density residential to commercial located at 316 East Bellevue Road. I will now open the public hearing and ask that staff present a report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the council for your consideration this evening. I want to make sure that we're clear on the request that we're making of the council and under this consideration. There is a piece of property that is assigned to this particular address, and the information is in your background packet, that has already been operating as a commercial structure. It was built as a commercial structure. There's a commercial business that's there. The applicant is here in the audience tonight and has operated this as a commercial business and building. He has been extremely good and courteous business owner here in our community, and has already been through the Planning Commission and received the authority of the Planning Commission under his new CUP. What we found in that process is that as an oversight many years ago, the property is actually designated under the general plan in the land use element of the general plan as residential property. Well, it's never been used as residential property. It was an oversight. We looked at it from several different directions. It's a possibility that as one of the shape files was created that designated the land uses in that area for reference purposes, there may have been a mistake in the shape file. All this is tonight that we're asking you to consider is a corrective action that will allow this gentleman and his family to move forward with their business. But to meet the general plan consistency findings, we have to make this correction. Just to be clear on this, it is most likely was an oversight by the city. That's why the city is the applicant on this tonight and not the gentleman. So he really doesn't have, he is welcome to come forward and introduce himself, but the applicant tonight is the city of Atwater, and that's why we're making this request, is to just make a correction to this particular oversight. And so that we're clear, the building is already constructed and we won't be introducing anything new into this particular environment. And I'm available to answer any questions you might have.
Does the council have any questions for Greg? Brian?
I don't have a question as much of a comment as, but like Mr. Thompson said, this building's been used for commercials since it's been there, since I've been alive. I've been here 42 years and it's pretty much been the same thing, you know, as long as I can remember. So I agree with what we got to do to make this correction.
Hello.
Okay. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak on this item? If so, please come forward. Okay, see nobody come forward. I will now close the public hearing. Brian?
Motion to approve staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Raymond, second by Kale. Kale?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Raymond?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Our next item is a report and presentation from staff for approving an amendment to update the standard plans and specifications for the city of Atwater. Staff, you can give your report, please.
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor and members of the council for your consideration for this item. Just to begin, we as a city have an adopted schedule of plans and specifications that we keep. It is a work in progress. It is something that is updated from time to time to either incorporate new Caltrans standards or to incorporate mandates by the state and federal governments for transportational purposes and for other purposes of infrastructure. It is a living document, so to speak, as that includes standard plans and specifications. This particular item is of a lot of interest to the council, and why we're doing this is in order to incorporate a 4-lane arterial with a median and 2 Class 4 bike paths, one in each direction, which is what we want incorporated into the Bellevue corridor design. You folks have to approve it as part of your plans and specifications first. So this has a lot of relevance and a lot of importance for the community of Atwater to have you folks consider this for those purposes tonight, and because it will be the standard that we use for the basis of that project moving forward. And again, why we feel it's important is it does have good arterial design. It is compliant with the latest Caltrans standards. It has multimodal accessibility with both traffic and bicycle concerns within the cross-section of design. So we're very excited to bring this forward to you. And once again, using this as an opportunity not only to update our plans and specifications so we can use this particular cross-section design, but also to introduce this as a regional Measure B project. That concludes my presentation. Any questions I would welcome on this topic.
Brian?
I just have a random question. Since you can't take the bicycle on the freeway, is the point of having the bike lane both directions down the arterial, is that mandated by the state now, or is that just a sustainability thing for Measure V?
Well, there's a number of reasons, Mr. Councilman member. One, yes, it is incorporated into most Caltrans design. They want things that help mitigate air quality. But we do it for 2 main reasons in addition to that. One, we want it to connect to, when we build this, it has to connect to existing infrastructure, which does anticipate bicycle traffic. The other reason is because hopefully someday when we develop to the west of the city, all of that's going to have mixed use, residential, commercial, highway commercial usage that we want people to be able to take non-vehicular traffic to. So we're building for not only for now, but we're building for the future as well.
Okay. My concern is because we have so many bike paths to nowhere in the city. I just, don't want it to be another one. But, I'm a big fan of this project. I've yelled at you for years that we need to, scream and do it. So thank you so much, Mr. Thompson. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? I have a question regarding scooters. So that's probably a police question more than
Probably.
anything. So for scooters, that's kind of the in thing these days. So are they allowed to use the bike paths also?
I would defer to the police department as far as
No, that's why I'm
the
looking at Bill,
regulations.
but Bill's kind of trying to hide back there.
Lieutenant, can you please use your microphone? Sorry, thank you.
He's new. He's just getting them.
This is training, Bill. Put it down for training.
Turn it on.
It takes a moment, yes. It's on.
I'm sorry I asked the question.
Yeah, there you go. Generally, scooters are right away as long as they're following the same direction of travel, but the law is not very specific in regards to the bike lane for scooters.
Okay, I suppose that's an evolving item. Okay, thank you. Sorry to put you on the spot there. Okay, are there any members of the public who wish to speak on this item? If so, please come forward for your 3 minutes.
Just a quick question. With these bike
Is
lanes,
the mic, can you check the microphone?
yeah, it's on.
Okay, thank you.
The bike lanes, and in respect to these electric bikes, I'm seeing on TV, they're advertising these 3-wheel bikes that go 28 miles an hour, they have turn signals and all this jazz. As far as I'm concerned, they fall under the vehicle code and not under a bike lane, but they're advertising them as bikes. So where are we coming down on those things, Bill?
And that's the question we need, that's why I just said, I think it's an evolving issue. We do need to find out, probably one of those Sacramento things, right? So, okay, we will keep that in mind. Anybody else?
My 2 cents. Anything motorized cannot use bike lane. So if any bicycle, anything motorized cannot use bike lane.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else want to speak on this item? Okay, so would anybody any member like to make a motion regarding this item?
Motion to approve staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Raymond, second by Ambrose. Kale?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Raymond?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. Now we're on to city manager reports.
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you for allowing me to use this time to discuss some of the transportation projects that we have going on throughout the city with our residents. I know the council gets updates, but I want to make sure that the rest of our residents have the information as well. Atwater has a lot of transportation projects moving forward, and just for the public's knowledge, transportation doesn't just mean cars. It can be pedestrian, rail, other alternative modes. So we have a lot of things going on in the city. We've received 4 CMAQ grants that we are moving forward with in some of your neighborhoods. These are some of our older neighborhoods that maybe don't have any walkability right now. This is going to allow them to connect the neighborhoods with new sidewalks, curb, and gutters. So you'll see some of those in your neighborhoods. I was going to announce all the locations. We'll put those on our website, but if you want to know, I'm happy to read all of those. But there is a lot of connectability to some of those areas. But also we have the AME, which is currently awaiting environmental approval, which will alleviate some of the congestion, as well as the council recently approved our Bellevue Corridor project. This too, opening up the Bellevue Corridor from Highway 99 will alleviate a lot of the congestion, as well as traffic signal synchronization project, syncing our traffic signals so that we can move the traffic without stacking. Also, the city recently purchased a parking lot at Atwater Boulevard and First Street that will be used for overflow parking for our downtown area, as well as ACE train parking when we get the platform built. We will also be putting a signal light in that area at First Street and Atwater Boulevard, where right now we have the flashing stop sign, and that'll be replaced with a signal, which will make it easier for our pedestrians to cross the roadways. Just as a reminder, one other thing, the bus stop. We have lots of new benches that were recently installed by the bus. These are in high traffic areas that our residents use to catch the bus to different locations. Just a reminder to slow down in the construction zones, be cautious, and take a little bit of extra time and make sure that the workers out there are safe. I know it's inconvenient, but it's going to be a good project in the end, so we appreciate your time. And happy to answer any questions anybody can, or if they want to get a hold of me, I can answer that as well.
Okay, thank you for that. Now we're on to comments from the public. Janelle?
At this time, any person may comment on any item which is not on the agenda. You may state your name and address for the record, however, is not required. Action will not be taken on any item that is not on the agenda. If it requires action, it will be referred to staff and or placed on a future agenda. Please limit comments to a maximum of 3 minutes.
Under the Brown Act, members of the public are entitled to directly address the city council as a legislative body of the city, not to other members of the public or to staff. I'm going to open public comment now. Are there any speaker cards?
Mayor, I have one speaker card.
Okay.
It is for Amanda Nicole.
Yep, you can come forward now.
Hello. Can you hear me? Okay, last time my microphone was not quite right. But I'm here specifically on one matter because we only do get 3 minutes. I spoke with Lori earlier this afternoon. I see that the chief isn't here. Restraining orders. I have gathered 11 restraining orders around people that don't get the, how do I say this? They overlook the restraining orders. They don't pay attention to the restraining orders. They went into my aunt's house, the restrained party in her home by herself. That's my aunt. Now myself, and also Maria Estrada that is sitting here, and was hit and beaten by the door of Fernando Echevarria, which I don't know if some of you may know who he is. He's a ex-officer, ex-firefighter, and a disgraced council member. He is racist. You can YouTube him. You can Google him. I got my restraining granted by Judge Bryan, which I appreciate him very much. And I showed all the evidence of Echevarria making not only terrorist threats, transphobic threats to my life. I don't take that lightly. Last time I was very nervous speaking, but since I have a voice and I do have, for my career, I do have a very good outpour of reach, and I just wanted to come before you all so you guys can understand, all of you, understand, as a trans woman, and we're being attacked, LGBTQ members, left and right. And then with the corruption and lies of Officer Aguilar, and Chief did not want to see the video. Judge Bryan asked for the video, and the video was, "I'm gonna fucking kill you, you fucking faggot," and so on and so on. I don't want to go on to more because it's disgusting words. Then it was totally dismissed by the Department of Atwater Police Department. It's on video, it is on paper, it is on a report, it is on video surveillance, and 6 witnesses. Is that my time? So for Maria Estrada, she would like to say something. She doesn't speak English. Am I able to translate for her? Because we got, I don't know, do we have translators in here? Or can I take her 3 minutes and finish off? But I'm
Okay, yeah.
come back and come
Frank says that's fine. No problem. Yeah, sure. Come on up.
Good afternoon.
She has 6 minutes. Yes.
She is saying she is very intimidated by the Atwater Police Department. That does not help. And it's the same party, Fernando Echeverria, that had kicked her and kicked a door down and bruised her. And it was the PI that is investigating Atwater PD and also Merced PD. On January 23rd at 1:02 p.m., Judge Bryan told him you were aware of the restraining order. Why did you go? The next question was, why are we not protected? Why has he not been arrested? And why has this been going on for so long with so many restraining orders? And I'm not done with the restraining orders. You guys overlooked, not you guys, but the officers overlooked them. And you think that someone is going to walk into her home or my home and we're not going to defend ourselves? And
Okay, so let's make sure that we're letting her.
I said everything she told me. So then,
Well, no, she's-
Porque me golpeó y la policía vio mi golpe y no me hizo nada, no lo arrestó al señor. El policía fue al policía Aguilar y yo con la orden de restricción en mi mano, el golpe en mi brazo.
she was showing the restraining order to Aguilar, which he was very well aware of. And it was over 20 minutes, and then that's when they got the chance to beat her. And therefore, he did not do his job, and the two other officers that showed up, neither did they. And also, it was not, the report doesn't match the videos, the security cameras. I don't know about your guys' body cameras, but, you know, Sargentson left me a voicemail that he was aware of it. Would you guys like to hear it?
No, not in this forum here.
So then, so how are we going to get past through this? If you don't want to hear it, the chief doesn't want to hear it, but the judge heard it.
Well, this is not the appropriate place for us to hear it. Well, I will tell you this. I will meet with the city manager and the police chief and get their side of the story on it. Because, you know, there's always multiple
Well, the
sides.
side of the story of the chief of the police that told me
But that's
don't
what-
want to
but
see the video.
I don't want to get into a debate here, but that,
It is a debate.
no, it's not a debate. It's not supposed to be a debate. I told you I will meet with the city manager and the chief, and we'll get back to you. Because we have to hear their side of the story, too. You wouldn't want somebody to make a
They've been
make a
investigating them.
recommendation on you without hearing
They
the
did.
side of the story, right?
They have.
Okay,
They have.
okay. Well, I'm sorry, but your time's up, so. You're always welcome to come here.
Oh, no, I'm going to come until...
That's fine.
Nothing's
You have a right to come here and speak, that's fine.
No, I know. Great Constitution of America.
Yep. Okay, are there any other members of the public who would like to speak? If so, you can come to the podium now.
Good afternoon, council members and city mayor. I'm Arturo Martinez. I did have the opportunity to meet once with the mayor and city manager. I'm with a field representative with Office Senator Ana Caballero. I'm just here to do an introduction. I'm a new field representative, and I will be overseeing the city of Water. I also do want to talk about a program that Senator is doing. It's called the Young Legislators Program. I did bring some flyers in English and Spanish, but it's a program where sophomore students all the way to graduating seniors this year can participate. We're going to have elected officials. They're going to be able to, it's going to be 4 days of 4 seminars. On the 5th day, we're going to be taking them on July 31st to the Capitol to go to the Capitol floor and everything. It's all expenses paid. So this program is fully paid for, and I will also be giving you all business cards. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. Corey Billings, Heather Glen Lane here in Atwater. As most of you on the dais know, I serve as chairman of the Bloss Memorial Healthcare District. And I wanted to inform you of some very exciting news that recently happened at our last meeting. That body set aside $52,000 to make sure that every high school student and junior high school student can receive their sports physicals so that they are permitted to play sports in the coming year. We know that it has been a financial burden for each of those kids to come up with the money for their physicals. So this organization set aside the funding in order to make sure that there is no financial reason that they cannot get their sports physical. We are working with the high school at the current time, both Atwater and Buac High School and the middle schools, to have their providers met so that we can pay the providers directly. So if you are interested in a sports physical, please reach out to both the high school or the elementary or middle school that you will be attending, and they can direct you to the provider that meets the requirements so that we can pay them. But it's very exciting news so the kids don't have to worry about being financially burdened to play sports in our community. So there's no reason this year.
All right, thank you. Next.
Guys, you know, I hate to come up here, probably just as much as you hate seeing me come up here, but I'm going to keep coming up here and reminding you about your fiscal responsibilities. $50,000 5 years ago that went to an upgrade or whatever over in the Kelso determined area. Council just rubber stamped that right on through. $48,000 yearly for graffiti abatement that still goes on to this day, with a contract that has no sunset date, and you write the check every month and every year, and that over the last 4 years, going on 5, that's like over $96,000 in money right there. $1 million plus to the Sam Joseph litigation, that just keeps going on as well. $100,000 to the Sandy Ron litigation for a tenant and landlord dispute that Atwater taxpayers were punished for. $6,000 for a memorial, whatever it was, that wasn't authorized, so we were out $6,000 on that. Another $8,000 on a plastic Christmas tree that got blown over in the recent storms. Most recently, the One Voice trip and all the other One Voice trips up to that, plus the mayor's conference here a couple, 3-4 years ago, all the way back to DC as well. How many thousands of dollars is that, people? That's lots and lots of taxpayer dollars that are just continually going out the door. And nobody on this council questions it. They just rubber stamp the check and onto the airplane and across the country you go, and what comes back? I was hoping there was going to be a report on the most recent One Voice trip where we didn't send 1, we didn't send 2, we sent 3 people. To do what? Go and talk to somebody, have 2 of them hold them down while the other one beat the hell out of them? What's the deal with this? What do we get? For 4 years that I sat in that middle chair, I never went to One Voice one time. And the reason being is we get nothing. We have never gotten anything. All the other cities, it's the same story, but everybody writes the check, everybody buys the airplane tickets and the hotels and the meals and everything, and off you go. And now we're going cross country to go and talk to Congressman Duarte, the same Congressman Duarte that voted no to H.R. 2. Yeah, there's money well spent. Okay, folks, keep on spending.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Mr. Mayor, Council, we start with this monument. Can anybody tell me where the monument's at? I'd like to go see for myself. Second thing, there's a town hall meeting on the 30th at the council chamber or community center. Will this be a question and answer from the council, where we can ask questions and actually get an answer from a council person? One other thing, Mr. Mayor, you sent me a message the other day regarding my questions about the One Voice. You said, I asked for this to be placed on the agenda. You told me there'd be a discussion about that today. I didn't see it on the agenda, and the agenda was approved. So I guess my questions would be, what was the city's total cost to send 3 people to this One Voice? And how, going to this One Voice, how did it do anything for the city? How did it improve anything for the city? What did it bring to Atwater? One other thing, unfortunately, Mr. Buttons isn't here. I asked a question of him about an email, and he immediately, after last meeting, contacted me the following day. We talked on the phone regarding my concerns, and I appreciate him getting back to me and answering my questions, in which I hope someone calls me or emails me and answers these questions. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Rich Miller, 334 Silva Drive here in Atwater, pastor of Victory Baptist Church, 1280 Sierra Vista Street. I wanted to personally thank our mayor for coming out and supporting law enforcement yesterday as we had our 6th annual Law Enforcement Appreciation Service. You'll be glad to know it cost the city nothing. It was paid for completely by Victory Baptist Church, and our people are excited about being able to give back to the community. I'm all for fiscal responsibility. I believe that if you are running for a position and you want a job, then you should go ahead and fulfill those obligations. At the same time, I think that sometimes we can overlook as a society all the good things that are happening in our city as well. And we know that there's been a lot of good things that have been done by individuals, by businesses, by churches. And yesterday was one of those. And we were excited to give away for the 6th time our Hometown Hero Award to a police officer, to a sheriff's deputy, and to a California Highway Patrolman, and then to feed them afterwards. And I'm happy to report none of them got sick from food poisoning, so I guess our ladies did a good job on that. And so we're excited about being able to honor our firefighters in September. And this year, I believe, we're going to be resurrecting a Fireman of the Year, I believe, I hope. And so we'll be able to, we've been giving the plaque just to a firehouse each year, rotating it, but we're looking forward to honoring a specific firefighter. With all that being said, once again, I'm not getting up here trying to contradict anybody else's comments. Everybody else's comments, that's their opinion. It's how they see things. But I do think that there are good things happening as well, and we should recognize those. At the same time, Mr. Raymond, you and I have a friend that if I did not say something, I would probably get in trouble. Miss Jeannie Knight would be upset at me if I did not correct a comment that was made earlier. It was not a plastic Christmas tree. So just wanted to make sure I said that.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, seeing nobody else coming forward, I'm going to close public comment now. Now we're going to move on to city council reports. Let's start with Mr. Kale.
Surprisingly, I have nothing.
Okay, I'll take you at your word. How about, well, Mr. Button's not here, so Mr. Ambrose.
First, I would like to congratulate all the FFA students who are here tonight on placing and doing very well in their different teams that they were on, and definitely best of luck at the state competition, and hopefully that goes forward up to the nationals. Just a quick rundown, I was one of the participants to go to One Voice last week, and I did walk away with a lot of knowledge. As of today, no, I did not bring home money, but money does not just come right away. And if I'm not mistaken, during our past outings, we brought back close to $3 million, which, yeah, hear giggles, but then again, if you don't go, of course, money's not going to show up. The mayor and I are planning on meeting here, hopefully in the next few months, to kind of go over more ideas for future trips, maybe. Also like to just wish my daughter again publicly happy birthday. Yesterday was her birthday. And one last thing too, just a point from personally here. I don't go to these events, conferences and stuff just for the hell of it. Personally, I missed out on my son's 3rd birthday party just to be there in order to make sure that I can advocate for my residents here. So if you have issue with that, then I guess we could talk afterwards. That's it.
Mr. Raymond?
I really don't have anything. I just want to thank or congratulate again Corbett and Montana McDaniel on their wedding.
All right. Well, I guess it's my turn. Okay, so let's see. For the budget hearing that's going to be held on the 30th at the town hall, the draft budget will be posted for public review by this coming Friday when the agenda is posted for that meeting. I'm going to kind of jump around here. I just want to mention too, Monday's Memorial Day. Winton Cemetery at 10 o'clock. There will be a ceremony out there. I believe Mr. Kale's going to be speaking at that, so I encourage people to go out there for that. Regarding some of the comments that were made at the last meeting, and kind of came up again today, as far as the Sammy Joseph thing that keeps coming back, and the assertion that the city is dragging their feet there, I do have a email here. I did not clear this with Frank before. Anyway, that's not the case. The city's not dragging their feet. It's Mr. Joseph's new attorney, so just FYI on that. Regarding the graffiti contract, I have talked to both Justin and Lori about that, looking into that. However, we typically don't go out to bid on contracts unless there's problems with the contracts. Personally, I think the company that's doing it is doing a pretty good job of doing the graffiti. And in reviewing both the Merced and Modesto contracts for this contractor, we're currently billed a fraction of the rates that those cities are paying. So if council wants to go out to review on that, then that's fine, but that's that side of the issue. Let's see, what else was on here? Town hall question and answer. Yes, there will be a question and answer. It's a public meeting, so there will be an opportunity for the public to speak. We're also encouraging the public to come from 4 to 6. You can call it a trade show or however, that's kind of the setup for it. But you're welcome to come and speak to the department heads directly, the people that make the decisions for their departments about the projects that are going on in town. And those are the people who can give you the best answer. I would encourage you to come early and check that out. And then stay after 6 o'clock for the budget session. Oh, let's see what was else on here. We're getting to One Voice here in a second. Okay, I think that's what I'm moving on to. Okay, so this is what we did in last week. Last week, I guess. I'm already off a week. These are the agencies and people that we met with as a group. We met with Senator Feinstein's senior staff. It was her first day back on the Hill, but she wasn't available. Senator Padilla's policy advisors, Congressman Costa's senior legislative assistant, Congressman Valado's legislative director, Congressman Josh Harder. Even though he's not in our district, he does have committee assignments for passenger rail, transportation projects, and regional collaboration. We met with the Department of Transportation Deputy Assistant Secretary for Intergovernmental Affairs and representatives from the Federal Railroad Administration, Federal Transit Agency, Federal Aviation Administration, and the Federal Highway Administration. We also met with the senior advisor at the White House Office of Intergovernmental Affairs. We met with Congressman John Duarte. We talked with the Army Corps of Engineers, mainly regarding flood prevention. We met with Homeland Security and FEMA, also about flood prevention and pre-disaster mitigation. I myself went to the Department of Justice and met with the COPS Programs Office. Very interesting there. Also met with the USDA regarding rural water projects. Veterans Affairs for homeless veterans. I'll have to bring that up to Linda's attention. And also EPA about stormwater infrastructure, which is important for our Lower Schaefer project. What did we learn? Well, per the White House Office of Intergovernmental Affairs, the one voice regional process is what makes things work. Other agency staffers said it was important that we were there to tell the compelling reasons for what we're asking for. And to quote Arnita Hannon of the EPA, "We're glad you're here. We need to see you and hear your concerns." One of the things I did learn, though, they are looking for projects that are shovel-ready or at least have had some local work already in progress, such as design or engineering. Also, there are new funding opportunities for the homeless, which include direct payments to nonprofit organizations and local government, so they don't have to come through the state. The Bureau of Justice Assistance and the COPS both have funding available outside of grants. And in fact, they posted 72 new funding opportunities this spring on their website. This one was kind of interesting. I thought the Corps of Engineers has an environmental justice program that can help with with project design. The Assistant Secretary of the Army is big on environmental justice. And since we have a population that's roughly 75% Hispanic, we should be taking advantage of that. So what's next? Well, the current administration has plenty of money available for projects, for local projects, due to the passage of the bipartisan infrastructure law. As Mr. Embreeze mentioned, we'll be reviewing what we learned. We'll work with the city manager and staff to come up with projects that meet guidelines for various grant opportunities, those that make sense for Atwater's need for transportation, housing, and economic development. I would encourage the public to become educated and engaged on this. One resource is build.gov, and another is the Build America Bureau website. You just have to Google that one. And it's easy to go down the rabbit hole and get distracted by the president's White House stuff on there. Anyway, while there's some people in Atwater that are against regionalism, they don't seem to have any problem with non-Atwater residents coming to our city to spend their money at our stores. So I think regionalism is a good thing, and you know the old saying, a rising tide raises all boats. So if it's good for Livingston, it's good for Atwater. If it's good for Merced, it's good for Atwater. If it's good for the county, it's good for Atwater. So that is my comments. We do not need to go to closed session. So I hope to see you all on the 30th, day after Memorial Day, for the town hall starting at 4 o'clock. Thank you.